So Noam, usually in the United States when you wait for a bus, it's a very leisurely activity. You may just have a few people sitting there checking their phone, minding their business.
So over here in the south, in Sderot on the southern border with Gaza, you have the bus stop or bomb shelters basically. So while you're waiting on a bus, you always have a secured room to actually run to once a siren actually goes off. So what's interesting about seeing here in Sderot visually, you see perfectly what Israel has done to protect its citizens by investing overall on the Gaza border over $500 million, $500 million only for bomb shelters.
Well, I mean, to me, that's pretty amazing, Noam. I mean, you're waiting for the bus, and the threat is so imminent that you need a bomb shelter on hand just in case. And as you said, 15 seconds to get into that shelter. Gather your kids, gather a baby carriage, and get into that shelter.
Or what child first do you protect? What child first do you take in order to run for shelter? I've had many more dilemmas on the personal level. Who do you protect first, having this limited time? And not easy cases of dealing with that kind of humanistic, dramatic kind of scenes during that time of being under rocket fire in the middle of the road.
How many of these are there? Are these bus stops around Sderot are also bomb shelters? This is normal in Sderot.
Yeah, this is very normal. The whole buildup of bomb shelters in this town started off like 5 years ago, more or less. And the way we call Sderot is the bomb shelter capital of the world. And this image of the massive buildup of bomb shelters attached to the old apartment buildings that you can see behind you, this is a unique project that's been done in this town like no other place in the country or in the world. And seeing that visual, you see how specifically this town became one of the most bombarded cities since World War II.
Since World War II.
And this is the result of it.
Noam, explain this a little bit more now. We see the bus stop bomb shelter, obviously, which is stunning, I think, for an American audience. Explain this. These are new apartment buildings, right? They've been built in the past few years. Explain a little bit more how these also have bomb shelters.
You can see the old apartment buildings on one side. What's attached to it are the bomb shelters themselves.
Wow.
Usually you think a bomb shelter is like underneath the ground, like a huge bunker.
Exactly.
But because you have 15 seconds and not enough to do almost anything, every single house today, every single residential area or neighborhood would have a bomb shelter attached to the apartment building itself.
Folks, that's kind of like the ultimate panic room. We know that term in the United States, a panic room. So this is becoming the norm in Israel, in Sderot as well.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, in Israel, in terms of bomb shelters or security room, since the first Intifada, the first Arab uprising against Israel towards the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, it's a law in Israel, the entire Israel, that part of the regulation of building a house, an apartment in Israel, you have to have a bomb shelter. That's the entire Israel.
It's a must, okay.
But these homes that were built up in the 50s and 60s had no bomb shelters.
Sure.
It took many years to be under rocket fire to eventually having the government investing overall estimated cost of $500 million for protection. And that's why when you have less physical damages or injuries on the Israeli side, that's part of the result of it. Because Israel has protected its citizens, first of all. Overall, this became the only region in the entire Western world having rockets, missiles being fired and threatening civilian populations for the past over a decade. And somehow people did not even hear about this.
And that is a key point to remember. And coming up, we're going to talk about the impact of the madness from Gaza, the jihad, the rockets and missiles coming from Gaza into Sderot. We're going to talk about the impact on the children of Sderot. That's coming up. More with Noam Bedin from the Sderot Media Center. It's The Watchmen. It's Christians United for Israel from Sderot, Israel. Only right here on TBN. Stick around.